Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns tonight. We have some cross keys in store for you here. It's the 12th qualifier. I'll hand it off to Chloe and Dr. Bob here.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? My name is Dr. Bob Tasic. Joining me today on commentary is Chloe Pryor. How are you doing?
Hi, we're doing good. We have a very interesting code today, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is like, I've never seen a code just so orderly, which to me means we're going to have what we call just the most chaotic seed of all time. That's what's going to happen.
We're hoping for that. We're hoping for some really obnoxious entrances that they're going to have to go through in order to find Dark World access or Death Mountain access to find something unique.
Yep.
And we are about to get started shortly, it looks like. A few more people are waiting to ready up.
Yep. Our two runners today, we've got Jay Coper and Shireen18. Both pretty strong runners. For those of you keeping up with random tournaments, Shireen is at the finals of the or semifinals of the Plando tournament. Don't know if anyone's heard of that. That's a thing. Jay Coper is just all around pretty ridiculously good. So I am ready to see this go down.
Yeah, we're definitely in for probably a bloody match between these two. So, how do you like starting off? Usually when I start these cross keys, I start with Sank and just try and figure out where that entrance is right away.
I've started doing kind of the meta route with the whole fake flipper over to Witch and all that mess, just because it covers a lot of bases that I like to have covered, gives me enough money for the bottle vendor, and things like that. And then after I get out of the Houlihan room, I go immediately west and start pulling bombs out of bushes, and then start checking entrances.
Yeah, I've seen that route used a lot because it does get a lot of those out of the way entrances out of the way real quick. And jumping into those drop points as fast as you possible gets you the highest chance of finding that well, which is 5 free items, or do you have a bomb?
Mm-hmm.
And then Houlihan, of course, is the, what is it, 45 times 5?
225.
225 rupees.
Yeah, so we have this thing. The one downside that I can think of to the Houlihan early route is that you don't necessarily have bombs if you find the well right there, and that's the one major downside. It's still a pretty solid play either way, and I used to go Sank start for a long time just because I thought it was cool, but the fact that you can end up at the pyramid or places where you just really can't do anything with it, that's kind of turned me off from the Sanctuary start.
Yeah, could be an extra save and quit. Then, of course, you could also find that none of your drop points are the well, and you find that it's at the pyramid. And now you have 9 items at the top of Aga's Tower, and you get to figure out if you want to do that or not later.
Alright, looks like we are now underway, and Piece of Heart, Link's house starting off, both runners starting at Link's house. We will see where we go from here. Jay Coper heading to North Shore, while it looks like Shireen is sort of doing the meta route here.
Yeah, that route that you were talking about. Jay Cooper's going to do those 2 checks up here and probably check the island real fast. And Money Cave.
Hey, that is one way to get money.
20 rupees every time you enter it. Not the fastest one, but he's going to farm it.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to farm up to probably about 100 or so. Maybe 150.
We got to the Witch's Hut too. Fairy Fountain, so that's going to be unimportant.
Yeah. At least you got that out of the way. because there's really just, unless you find the flute, there's not a great way to do that.
Ooh, nice bomb drop from Blue Guard.
I used to have a really hard time doing that fake flipper that Shireen just did. Ooh, Eastern Palace, hello.
And there's the well as well. Haha. But Shireen is just gonna
Subject.
big flipper. Or, sorry, Houlihan.
Yep. That does seem reasonable because he doesn't have the bomb. He can just go get some and come back. Fairy in a bottle in the first chest of Eastern Palace, which was, of course, at the Lake Hylia Fortune Teller.
Yeah, the fairy's not too important, unless he runs into something hard at these little heart points of the game. But the bottle definitely stops you from having to track Sick, because you can just mark it as done on your map.
Right. The more things you can get before you find entrances that require them, the better. I have, spots sitting around to keep track of like Mimic Cave and Sick Kid and Witch and things like that, because I almost always find them after I have the item, or before I have the item I need for.
Looks like Shireen, yes, is going to commit to Eastern Palace. He wanted to just get that other entrance first. This is a quick 4 items. These guys are extremely experienced at the Dark Room, so even with not having a weapon, it probably won't be too much of an issue.
The first Eastern Dark Rooms are pretty doable even without a weapon, though if you get, bounced around enough, you might have some problems. Okay, there's a T-Rock key in Swamp Palace. Of course, usually you don't need all the Turtle Rock keys in entrance. Mainly because you find a way to get into the middle, and then you need a maximum of 2. Or 1.
So, quick question from chat. The map pickups allow you to use the overworld map to see which dungeons are pendants and crystals, and the compass pickups allow you to see how many items remain in a dungeon when you're in that dungeon. The compasses are not that useful for the runners, but the map pickups are going to be fairly useful so they know what they need to do to win this seed.
Right, so the map and compasses operate just like they do in a regular Keysanity seed. The only difference is the dungeons on the map. When you look at the map, they're going to be where their dungeon normally would be, not where the dungeon actually is. So the maps do not tell you where the dungeon is.
J-Coper at 1.5 hearts, but there's some hearts in here. And the free fairy. He's having a trouble time with the damage boost. He's got that fairy in the bottle.
Yeah, he does.
He's gonna use it. Yeah, it's...
iframe.
The goal of the seed is considered crystals, which means that they only need to collect the 7 crystals in order to defeat Ganon.
Right,
Aga...
you don't have to beat Aga 2 necessarily.
Right, but you never know.
Alright, looks like J-Coper is now taking the Sanctuary play. We'll see where that is.
In the Lost Woods. And Andy looks like died in the Dark Room, so he did use his fairy.
I mean, Andy is playing this race, but it's Shireen that's
Shireen.
sprite.
I'm sorry. I'm seeing the pug and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Andy.
I mean, Andy is involved in this race, actually, but that'll be fun. Anyway, small key to Meyer was there in Sank. Yeah, GT's location is randomized as well, so it is very possible that we could run across Ganon's Tower and make use of that big key.
And a little bit of knowledge that GT doesn't actually have the trash fill, so it could have any number of key items in it. We found Ganon. Hi, Ganon. See you later.
Alright, I think Jay Coper actually didn't get the big key of Ganon's tower there until right now. He's gonna go look at it.
I think that's the 4-kill bomb drop? Yeah, he's killed a few things, so before he did a tree pull.
Our crab is dropping 20 rupees. That's pretty nice source of money.
Yeah, you definitely want to get up to that 600 money point as fast as possible in this.
Yeah, and, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to a little more for potion purposes.
Right.
Not even because I'm bad at the game, but because I might run across Pod and I want to go to the right-hand side.
Right, just grabbing those 2 extra items, even if it's out of logic. Like, the more items you can get in this mode seems to be better. Vanilla Lumberjack with just a piece of heart, so...
So, extra vanilla.
And the Smith House right below it. Yeah, we can see Shireen farming some more rupees off those crabs. Great source of money.
Alright, grabbing the bomb pull as well, so Shireen has plenty of bombs, and we can see what else we can find this direction. He's going to go look at what is in the sanctuary. No guarantees he'll be able to access it.
If it's the uncle one, he'll have those 2 free items, but it's like bat or something. It is bat, so he'll have to come back with powder and glove later.
So Magic Bat not only requiring the powder today, but also the lift upgrade. So now Shireen is headed back to the well to get the 5 items inside, and Jay Coper will be right behind.
Yeah, and this is good. Early well is usually one of the plays that you want to get to as soon as possible. Oftentimes you can find a weapon or something in it.
Big key of Tower of Hera. That is something you definitely need to clear that dungeon. Now, whether we need to clear that dungeon or not is not quite determined yet. And there's the small key of Tower of Hera. Okay.
Well, that's a Hera starter kit. I'll just need a weapon to finish it.
Yeah, and for that small key to matter at all, you need the a fire source of some kind.
That's true too. Plus, we also need to, find Hera.
Yeah, it's not like we need to find things. All right, so we've got the Fortune Teller's Hut, which is a Bonk Rocks, which is just a big 20.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Kakariko now and start making the plenty of doors to go in here that can lead all over the world if they so choose. Chess minigame with a shield.
All right, Kakariko Village, also known as Monty Hall's Nightmare.
Got an ice rod cave too.
10 arrows
Some
in
sticks.
the Ice Rod Cave.
Some frozen sticks. It's like those episodes of Scooby-Doo where they're running back and forth through the doors.
Do we need to pull out yakety sax?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm done.
And Agina's Cave, which is another item. It's another stick.
Well, Agina, you are basically the worst.
There's no value to the single arrow anymore because they took out unique item out of the hint system.
Yeah. I mean, it's still in the vanilla version, but in the entrance version, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Alright, the well is completely useless today.
Yeah, just the one drop location that you want to see at the pyramid.
Why do I always see 537 on the rupee count so often? I don't know why.
Not sure. But it's back to 537.
Bought the 100 rupees for 100 rupees, and it's the best.
Ooh, hookshot cave. That's both a connector and 4 items.
Yep, can't get the items yet. Need some boots to get one of them, hookshot to get all of them, and ridiculous motor skills to get all 4 with the boots. That is the Uncle's Tunnel over at the Magic Bat location, which gives us 2 items, a 20 rupees, and who knows what.
Yeah, this is good because this is one of the drop locations that takes a while to get to, especially with how picky entrance seems to be about giving you hammer.
Book, hello. So the book grants you access to the Desert Palace main entrance, and can eventually grant us access to those tablets as well.
And to check pedestal. Oh, hey, look, it's Hera, but we don't have a weapon. Do you want to spend the bombs?
I mean, I would, to be honest. Oh, never mind. There's a weapon.
There we
Found
go.
the bow in the back of the tavern. I think Shireen might turn around.
Ooh, in the back of Skull Woods as well. It's 1 item for now, but we know there's a boss here too, and all that boss requires is a sword and a small key. Oh, and the fire rod.
So that Skull Woods was, I believe, at the sick kid's house. Yeah. And it is possible to get to Mothula with just the lamp instead of the fire rod. It's a little difficult, but it can be done.
Yeah,
Some bomb jumps involved.
You gotta do a fun bomb jump and pray that you don't get grabbed on the way.
Yeah. The good news is the bomb jump actually has a very easy setup. If you just back yourself up against the left wall and then move yourself in front of the hole, you will get there. And then drop the bomb, you will get there every time.
Well, we found Old Man too. Not in a very convenient spot. Just kind of hanging out in town with everyone else.
Alright. And the front of our tavern here is the exit to Spectacle Rock Cave. We found the front of that, or the business entrance of that, a little earlier.
Oh, so that means it's really good because I don't like Spec Rock being an actual connector that you need to take. It takes very long to walk through it.
Though if you are particularly brave, you can attempt this bomb jump that I think Jay Coper might be going for.
Yeah, I think because he knows where the bottom of it, he actually might do it.
Nope.
Oh, okay. That's fine, it's not in logic. There's no reason to sequence break this early. And Shireen finding out, hey, Spec Rock leads like 4 feet away.
So it said the eastmost cave on West Death Mountain leads to a connector. So that is the cave that I believe it is the cave that I refer to as Upper Norfair. After these,
I believe so. It is that
combo randomizer.
One. I think Vanilla leads to the back of Uncle's house.
It does.
Or
to
Old Man's
Old
guy.
Man's house, yeah.
Yeah. But no one ever takes it. Not finding much else over here in Kakariko area. We found Bumper Cave, but
you definitely need the cape to get through that side.
Yeah, if you have the hook shot, you can sneak through the other side, but for now it doesn't really offer a ton.
Alright, now it looks like Shireen is taking that bow and heading back to Tower of Hera.
can get 4 items right now. Without a weapon or a fire source, can't do the basement or the boss.
But for all we know, we could find a sword or a hammer in here, so...
Yeah, I did get bailed out the other day on an entrance having a sword in the big chest.
I might have been playing in that one.
I think you were. We found Super Bunny, and that's a lamp.
There's that fire source we were talking about.
But the boots
Shireen
and Hera...
found the boots.
One of the
dang.
3 major items, I think, at entrance between the boots, the mirror, and the flute.
Anyone explain the tracker? For some reason I can't see the tracker, actually.
I believe the tracker has 3 different modes where it shows when that player has found the entrance, and when they have cleared the boss, and then a mode where then they haven't finished the dungeon.
Ah, right, yes. Alright, so we got 20 rupees, big key to Ice Palace in Spiral Cave, so that's interesting to know. Means if you see Ice Palace, if you see Spiral Cave, you might want to go for it. But it looks like Shireen just got completely destroyed by that bomb.
Yeah, he was trying to bomb jump that, but unfortunately started his side dash a little late.
Well, he's going to go ahead and peace out.
That's
with
fine.
The boots, I think that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I think those boots are going to buy him precious seconds in this.
And he's going to go ahead and take the hookshot cave, or he's going into hookshot cave. I don't know if he's taking the connection here. But he is going to get that item.
Now, can he hover?
Turtle Rock. Not to my knowledge.
Does not look it. Found the front of the bar on Jake Oprah's side.
Yep. Unfortunately, you can't really pick up anything to drink there. You can do it at the potion shop, but that's entirely different. Looks like the back of Hookshot Cave leads to Ice Palace, which is basically useless.
I mean, there could be some weird logic where it requires you to mirror to Hylia Island, but...
Right. The flippers, if you didn't have flippers, you could logically need that. But people are going to fake flipper to the Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, fake flippering is definitely faster. And Hyrule Shop, right in the castle. So far, not a super ton of progression. We have a few connectors, but...
Yeah, there's a few here and there. We still haven't seen anything down south here. That's what Jay Coper's going for. Now, personally, I like to avoid going south, if at all possible, until I find a glove. But that's not always possible.
I think Super Bunny was over at Sahasralis.
Super Bunny was at the cave before Eastern.
Oh, okay, yeah, the fairy fountain. Sorry. I knew it was over on the east side.
Yeah.
But it was the bottom, so it's not technically a connector for us.
Right. It's the end of the connector. Right. Canyon Cave is the back of the old man's house.
Yeah. So, Old Man Connector is already dead, even though we did find that lamp.
That being said, I think we did find another dark room. Oh, hello, we've got Thieves Town over on Shireen's screen. Apparently you found the small key at some point.
This is nice. It's 4 quick items.
There's a hint in Agina's cave, but it was a joke hint. Rip. How many people in this race?
Not sure. Check the channel.
Looks like 32.
It's a pretty beefy race.
Yeah,
These
the
qualifiers seem to be getting bigger every time.
Yeah. It's like people realized, wait, there's this awesome thing going on, and we could do it.
Jay Cooper's gonna go through hookshot 2 and unfortunately find out that it is not a helpful connector.
Shireen picking up yet more rupees from the crabs. Rupees for days.
Did Jay Cooper go all the way over to Desert?
I believe he did.
Okay.
I think Agina's cave was his last stop. I don't think he checked the ledge.
I was wondering because I thought he had the book. It might just be Shireen that has the book, though.
Yeah, I don't think Jay Cooper's actually checked the blacksmith area at all. Like, I don't think he's seen Tower of Hera.
Yeah, he didn't actually, and both Book and Boots were over there. Boots were in the floor spot in Tower of Hera.
So the qualifiers here, these are... No one is going to be eliminated based on the qualifiers unless you just don't finish enough. These are mostly for seeding and to place yourself into the next stage of the tournament.
Well, Hera's just Desert Palace is just storage space right now.
Yep. It is, however, free bombs. I'm usually on board with free bombs when I find that. Alright, so Shireen is heading to the right. He should be able to find that Super Bunny Cave entrance pretty soon. That'll get him the lamp, and that might point him toward Hera Basement. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of thinking Hera Basement might be either that or we have the two Ice Rod Cave. Because we're kind of running out of things to check pretty early, which is weird. Looks like Jay Cooper is making that play over to the Ice Rod area.
Yep. Once again, something I don't like to do because you had to come back over here with a lift if you if you don't have one the first time. But sometimes you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they're running out of stuff to check. Ice Rod is reversed.
At the wrong end Ice Rod Cave, Shireen finds a connector at cave number 5 here.
Okay. So we have a few more options.
Oh, and it connects to Ether. I think Jay Cooper probably found that too. That's dumb. And I love it.
It's amazing. Yeah. I'm looking at the map here, and
I mean, we've got Hera Basement, Hera Big Chest that we haven't seen.
Right, because Shireen died before he got to the big chest. Or rather, fell. So, Hera... And Bonk Rock. Which sure.
Yep. Bonk Rocks is a thing. Sick kid. And we do have that bottle from Eastern. What do we have? A shield.
Shield 2.
I mean, once we go back to Thieves Town, that'll be somewhat relevant. At least it'll be relevant for people who are scrubs at this game like me.
I like the mirror shield. I know no one else does. It makes me not have to think when I do Laser Bridge. So yeah, I think we're bottlenecked at Hera right now.
Yeah. So I think there's a question in chat about why don't we put Enemizer with this. I'm like, so I think that like Crossworld entrants and Enemizers kind of like appeal to two different types of people. You know what I mean?
I think Shireen put himself in a really bad spot there.
Yeah, that's a thing. I think he'll be okay this time. Sometimes you just gotta, you know.
Gotta get it out of your system.
Yeah. Just do it again.
And Jay Cooper is demonstrating the fake flippers. We can see if he finds something that breaks him out of. Oh, poor Shireen. Dodge.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
At least he's in a rhythm, so it looks like he might be able to survive this.
Well done. For Shireen.
And it does look like Jake Cooper found a cane.
Oh! We got a
There's the
hammer.
hammer. Wait, what does that do for us? Oh, that lets us kill Moldor.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Wait, it doesn't do much else. No, you gotta go back in. There's nowhere else.
Alright, well there is the end of Spiral Cave. We found that over at the waterfall.
I think Shireen didn't realize that he already saw the other entrance to this.
Yeah. I mean, after the other day, what happened, if you didn't go this way, I wouldn't blame anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
like
the
he's
hammer...
gonna go for the southeast here, maybe.
Yeah, he's probably gonna go check those two over in Ice Rod area.
Yep. Get the map of Eastern from King Zora, which I believe is still logically required in the game, but or at least to beat Eastern. But
I mean,
that's all.
I believe the logic says that you have to find both the map and compass in order to complete the dungeon. But I mean, it's fairly meaningless.
Yeah, actually, no one cares about that.
There's not a lot that it can actually, like, unless you find a map or a compass really in a sequence break.
Yeah. I do think that finding a map and a compass early for a place might be a reasonable indication that you need to go there for something. But not always. Alright,
So
Jay
sure.
Coper has located Tower of Hera now.
Yeah, and Shireen's
Oh,
gonna do Mimic Caves too.
Yeah.
I remember that being a
That
thing.
is a thing.
+1, which is a key to nothing.
That's once again something that the logic wants you to have, but going behind the waterfall leads to a connector, it says that Jay Cooper has already found.
Oh, unfortunately, Jay Cooper is going to climb first before getting the hammer.
Oh.
Which I agree with the play, but
I mean, yeah, obviously this is the way you do it, but it's just gonna turn out badly.
it's just that stupid hammer's in the basement.
Jay Cooper using pot strats here to take care of these crystal beetles. And Shireen has made it back to Hera as well.
So they're both going to be climbing this, and Shireen will be able to finish this at least.
I think hook shot on Moldorm. Maybe flute.
I think flute, probably, actually. Because they need something to open up the seed a little.
Well, it could be hookshot on Moldorm and then flute in Hookshot Cave. Is what I was thinking.
Oh, that's true too. There is Hookshot Cave.
Mushroom?
Mushroom.
I don't
Mushroom
think we
doesn't
found
help us.
the witch yet.
Yeah, without the witch, it doesn't help us.
Just 50 rupees in the big chest, which is a little unfortunate for Jay Cooper. Oh, and he saved and quit out, so he's going to miss out on the hammer until he gets back there.
Did he pick up the book? I'm not sure if he went into the cave.
Don't know. Just checking some bonks.
Yeah, this is just the ferry.
The
no, Shireen
best
checked
fairy.
this early. Yeah. The good ferry, but Shireen already
Unfortunately,
checked
he
this.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have enough money to pay for an upgrade. I do love me a bomb upgrade in entrance. Like, just having just a few more bombs just makes your day.
Yeah, there's so many entrances that require them. Moldorm goes down and glove.
Love. Well, there we go. That grants us access to quite a few different entrances. We've got the one just outside of Death Mountain. We've got the one over by Ice Rod Cave. We've got the one in the canyon. That's basically it right now. But we also have Hammer and Glove, which means if Moon Pearl is at any of those locations, we're just golden.
Yeah, we'll have Dark World access fairly soon. I'm sure Moon Pearl is at one of these locations. So Shireen's gonna sprint up to Death Mountain Ascent first. And which one do you think? This one or the other two?
Well, it's certainly not this one.
Not this one. I'm going with Ice Rod because I like the hike.
All right. I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
It is nice to get Hammer early, but this might be a 2-hour sword seed.
Yeah. 2-hour swords, all the swords in Pendant Dungeons.
Jay Cooper's looking a little lost. You have the hair small.
Oh.
Oh, the other Spec Rock entrance.
Oh man, we could have found that. Could have done the bomb jump. We could have found that one out early.
Yeah, but you would have been locked out, so you wouldn't have been able to go back.
Alright, Jay Cooper has gone to the Uncle's Tunnel. He looks like he's going to grab the book, which is kind of going to bait him away from the hammer.
I was hoping he was going back for Hera, but this is a rough seed because literally Hera's locking everything. There's, 3 unique items in Hera?
I have not seen a seed that has bottlenecked you this hard in a long time.
See, it even
There's
said,
that moon pearl.
yeah, over an ice rod. So we have full Dark World access with the hammer and glove now.
And that ought to be the thing you head for, I imagine.
Yeah, this linear seed just cracked itself open.
And Shireen is about to enter the Dark World immediately. We'll get to check, the Hype Cave entrance, the Fortune Teller entrance, the Bomb Shop, Swamp Palace. Check Stumpy, Archery game, Digging game. Can go up to Pyramid and all that mess too. All of those can be done from this area.
There's a connector at Hype Cave.
And it's a short connector, so I don't have any problem with taking this immediately.
Ooh,
that's beautiful.
That's a good connector. Top of Bumper Cave is one of those ones you do need to find because it's the only way to get to that entrance in the Light World.
And the whole Eastern Palace Big Key up there too. We know where Eastern is, and we have the bow. So
I know we have the
completely in
lamp
logic now
too. So yeah, this is a hint for Shireen. He's gonna grab it.
Turtle Rock Main leads to Hyrule Castle. That's interesting. I imagine you might want to find another way to get into Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's Pod too. Only one small key, but we can go through the bow side.
Yep, with one small key.
Ooh. We just checked Ped, and it's a big key to the desert.
Ooh, that is definitely required.
Yeah, it has to be required because
if the key is on the pedestal, you can't have a pendant desert. Therefore, we have a pedestal seed, ladies and gentlemen.
We have a confirmed ped seed. Congratulations! I hope you wanted all dungeons because that's what you're getting. Well, maybe not Agina or Aga 1 rather.
Oh, we all know there's going to be something.
I mean, they'll go in for those 2 chests for sure when they find it.
Right.
Looks like Shireen just used her first key in the front, which is fine.
I mean, you expect to find at least 5 of the 6 keys by the end of it. That's the way I see it. And I'm pretty sure Shireen knows how to do the hammer jump.
Jay Cooper is in a spot, though. He needs to go back to Hera. You have the lamp. You can do the basement.
Alright, dashing down the east side of Pod, we've got Shireen going to check 2 things. A mushroom has been found, and a mirror. Good lord!
That is a strong, strong item.
Yeah, so the mirror grants you access to just a dumb amount of entrances in entrance. I think dumb is the proper adjective.
It looks like he's going right first.
Yeah, with the mirror, I feel like that's what I would do too, because you've got the top of Hyrule Castle over here, which feels pretty good. Also guaranteed items on the pyramid.
They found another entrance to Dark Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to give them access to Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb, or rather King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge. Jay Cooper, you went through a dark room. You have the lamp. You have the lamp. You can do Hera Basement.
So, we find at King's Tomb location, we find the main entrance of Desert Palace.
Deserts.
As we know, you're not going to be able to get to that big chest for a little while.
I mean, you can probably safely assume there's nothing in that big chest, but
Pretty likely, though it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
You could end up with like another big key locked behind it or something. Useless hint, but we do find the Quake medallion here on the torch. Looks like Shireen is going to abandon the other entrances to Desert for now, in favor of checking some of these other entrances, such as Graveyard Ledge.
yeah, it's probably
Jacob
a good play.
Really confused right now.
Gosh, everyone send him your energy to go to Hera again. It's gonna Houlihan.
Appears that he's kind of just basically just sort of thinking about things and picking up some money while he's at it. Like nothing else really to do that I can think of. So let's do some stuff. All right, so Shireen is gonna go ahead and head back to the left. Looks like we will get a check of the
Yeah, he's gonna grab the
Kite Cave.
Death Mountain Descent. The Light World version of Bumper Cave.
Oh, right. Interesting spot to mirror, but sure. Oh, it's the Death Mountain Ascent Cave.
That's logical access to Light World Death Mountain, too.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you see that cave, you know it's going to put you somewhere on West Death Mountain, because the old man has to come out there somewhere.
And with the hammer and the mirror, he can get to right side Death Mountain, too, the top half of it.
Oh, but we found the dam here at the Dark Lumberjack hut.
You just pause quick. Come on, tell me you saw that Harris Small key, J. Cooper.
And we're gonna check the
It's a big key.
Bumper Cave. Big key to Misery Mire.
Is required. We know we're gonna need. We're gonna need to do all the dungeons.
Yep, so we need all the big keys for the relevant dungeons. That's going to include Desert. We've already gotten Hera. We've gotten Eastern. We're going to need the Pod big key. We're going to need the Thieves Town big key, Mire, and Turtle Rock. Now, Swamp, Skull Woods, and Ice are basically optional. And it looks like J. Cooper has sniffed it out and managed to find
That's good.
his way back to Tower of Hera.
I would say he's about 5 to 10 minutes behind, but you know, he's a great runner, so.
And I mean, Entrance has so many possibilities to lead people astray.
And the thing is, he knows that he needs to do all the dungeons now. Whereas Shireen does not yet.
Ooh, J. Cooper also takes the death in the Hera basement. Not the first time that's happened today. Not the.
I know. Coffee break is being rough on people.
All right, Shireen entering Skull Woods. Now, of course, the first entrance here, you know, the main entrances here on Skull Woods are going to have... They're all going to be Skull Woods, they just might be a little different. And we do have the double entrances in the front, which means we might have a blocked situation.
Yeah.
As far as reaching the back goes.
Yeah, both of those entrances are up front. That means the other entrance is in the back, and there's only a 1 in 4
4?
chance that
Yeah.
that the drop hole is the
The Skullwoods boss area can be anywhere except we already found it. It's at the Sick Kid, actually. Finally, Jay Coper finds the hammer.
and I hope he goes in and... No, he saved and quit. He has to go back to Hera. He needs to climb it now. Ah, Jay. I'm sorry.
I think he's gonna go do
Mimics
Cave
first, yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing that Shireen did.
I understand that Hammer Moldorm is not... Like, it's not... honestly, Hammer Moldorm I think is easier than Fighter Sword Moldorm. But
you don't get the safety of making sure you stay on.
Right, exactly.
Platform.
I think he knows he has to go back to Hera, though.
Alright, so Shireen locates the 2 items here in Skull Woods. Already has plenty of keys to go around.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to make sure that you have 1 key leaving Skullwoods, so that you don't get stuck when you want to do Skullwoods the backside.
Alright, let's see if we can escape. Nope. Big ol' nope, and Shireen just saves and quit.
Shireen also didn't check, probably would have been better if Shireen had just... Well, actually, this is faster leading to...
I mean, you could have mirrored and checked the pedestal while you're there, just saying.
But yeah, if he had mirrored to check the pedestal, I think that would have been a better play for him.
It would have done him more good. I don't know if it's a better play in general, but in this case, absolutely.
Well, he's just going around to go into the warp here. That's what I mean. It would have been faster to just mirror.
Yeah, it would have actually just been faster, and you can check the pedestal while you're at it.
That might be unfortunate for him. Because that pedestal knowledge is extremely powerful in this game. Knowing that all the dungeons are required when you're doing entrance is just probably one of the most important things that you could need.
I mean, I checked pedestal this early.
I would have forgotten.
Given a chance.
I guarantee I would have forgotten.
I mean, if I go into the Lost Woods and I have the book, I'm probably checking the pedestal.
Moldorm goes down for Jay Cooper, and he gets his glove.
And we'll see which order he attempts to check the glove spots. It's a very, very bottleneck seed, and then it opens way up. It's kind of ridiculous.
Just got a top tier hint from that hint giver. Armor could be found on an island.
Alright, so I think we just found the Turtle Rock eyes. Am I making that up?
No, it was Desert Palace left.
Oh, okay.
So we found our second.
I don't know why that was Turtle Rock in my head.
Yeah, that's our second entrance to that desert.
Yeah, we just haven't seen the right side, I believe.
Right. That's good that he found it in exploration, so that he route things better. This is another hint giver. Dodongo hates a certain kind of sound.
Is it this sound?
Too bad there's no Dodongos in this game. Alright, Jay Cooper gonna finally find their moon for a way over in...
Yep, looks like he's making the beeline for the correct decision. Which is pretty good. And also the bee is making the beeline for him. So there's that.
So, Ken, we don't know what crystals, but inherently it doesn't matter. We know that Desert Palace is a crystal.
All right, hook shot in the back of Sahasrala's closet. And piece of heart, that Sahasrala's closet brought to you by the race game, or the back door of it. We know that there's just a big 20 on the race game, so Shireen shouldn't be going for the game itself. But a hook shot is definitely something you want to see.
We also learned that Pod was the green pendant, so that's an extra item for clearing it. In addition to the 14 chests that are in Pod.
Yeah, Pod is a ridiculous number of chests in, in just Keysanity, and, Crossworld just makes it better.
Yeah, I think it's second only to Ganon's Tower.
Oh!
Ooh.
We've got a glove at the digging game. That's 2 gloves. We can start lifting the Dark Rocks. And so that blacksmith over there could be rescued literally right now.
And I think he's going to.
And we can see hammer pegs and all sorts of shenanigans here.
Smiths were way up in...
Yeah, they were lumberjack
house, yeah. So it's a little bit of a hike, but... Alright, Jay Cooper is gonna go through...
Can you not do item dashes while the frog is following you?
You cannot do item dashes without a sword. You don't generate the hitbox without it.
That's what we're missing. I forgot.
Found a connector at the peg cave. It's probably somewhere Death Mountain. It is. It's the connector that we got a hint for.
Yep. It's good old Upper Norfair. And, just gonna head back over to the pegs now.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan. Yeah, Jay Cooper didn't go to the south route, so he doesn't have that mirror yet, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal, because it hasn't really helped out Shireen all that much just yet. Just a couple extra checks he got out of the way.
So in this room with the statue, I've taken to trying some unorthodox strats in that I don't kill anything, including the jellies, because if you don't kill the jellies, the hand doesn't appear.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Hey, there's the pod big key over in Hookshot Cave. But that's about it.
Oh, it did get him Hookshot. Hookshot was behind mirror. So that is a little rough. And the pod big key is also technically behind mirror now, too.
Alright, Shireen has the blacksmith in tow, and we're heading for Lumberjack Hut. Let's see what we get.
I don't know, Smiths have been pretty big. Maybe they're actual swordsmiths today. They like having something in these entrance seats.
I mean, they're dwarves, though.
Well, bombsmiths today.
It's like how can they be pretty big if they're dwarves? Okay, I'm done.
This is a super serious stream.
Yeah, 100%. No jokes here. Literally no jokes. Alright, Shireen heading back toward Kakariko Village, reusing that portal.
He's gonna grab purple chest as he goes his south route, I think.
Yeah, that does seem reasonable. That way we can go ahead and get that taken care of while we're over there. We can also look at what is on the Bombos tablet if we want to, while we're down there.
And Jake Cooper is in dark. Hope he checks pod real quick. That would really help him out.
Mm-hmm. Believe that was the Bonk Rocks over there next to the bomb shop.
Yeah. Oof. Found the witch, though. Haven't turned in that mushroom, so that might be a while before Shireen gets back there.
Yep. Now, if we find a flute at some point, it'll be pretty quick, but it is going to be a while. A blue boomerang from Stumpy.
Stumpy with his favorite toy. Gosh, those hookshot dashes are so cool. I want to try doing those next time.
That requires a little more coordination than I have.
Yeah. I think you have to hookshot and dash the same frame that you get recontrol of Link. It's a little rough.
I think it just has to be in the frames it takes for the chest to catch up to you.
$50 from the purple chest.
Oh, that's the flute.
That is locked behind two
Bombos
swords.
tablet.
That we still haven't found.
Wow. So there's a chance we might not even get that flute, depending on if there's a connector to the mire area, or if there's anything in the mire area that we need. But I'm telling you, you want to get the flute if you can. It's just better, better transport.
With Shireen's current gear, that unlocks 4 entrances, or 5 entrances. 6 entrances, because they'll be able to mirror. Then a 7th if they have the correct medallion. Mire area has a lot of stuff in it.
Sure does.
The mirror in the mitts allows them to do basically everything.
Speaking of mirror, it looks like Shireen is going to go ahead and head east from here. Probably going to head for... Oh, I stand corrected. I thought he might head for the pyramid and such, but he's heading through the Hype Cave connector again.
I think he's gonna do some Death Mountain work.
Ah, seems entirely legit, especially since he's got the hookshot. That'll get him over to the other side as well.
Yeah, hookshot, mitts, mirror, hammer. He has enough to check almost every entrance on Death Mountain.
Yeah, that is entirely true. That's pretty ridiculous. And that includes the dark ones. Like
Right, yeah. So I mean, it's gonna take a while, and there's still a lot of dead entrances that he's got left to find.
There's also a lot of live entrances. Like, I don't think we've seen any of the, 5-item caves.
Oh, and we're missing a ton of dungeons. We haven't found.
And we haven't seen Paradox Cave. There's just a ton of items sitting around.
Yeah, we haven't found any Paradox entrance. We haven't found any Blind Hut, Hype Cave. There's a sword, though, finally.
Sword on Spectacle Rock seems good. And we find the Sea House inside Spectacle Rock. I imagine Shireen is just gonna get that sword right now.
I would not blame him. Just shy of an hour, and he finally gets a sword. Loses his smith, though, because of it. Wait.
No, he already
Jay
turned
Cooper.
in the smith.
Jay Cooper has a smith that's following him around as he's going through
Jay Cooper
dungeon.
Yeah, so they greatly increase the places you can take the blacksmith in Entrance Shuffle. Oh, there's our hype cave we were just talking about. Bombs, and
We're gonna
let's
have
see
any
what
hype?
is actual hype. Heart,
Okay.
heart, shovel, and 10 arrows. So it's potentially delayed hype, but probably not.
Fetch quest is just annoying. There's enough fetch quests in Entrance.
And Jay Coper has located the other entrance of Desert. That is the Spiral Cave entrance, which is putting him out on the east side of Death Mountain. So we're getting a lot of information. There's that Turtle Rock eye wall I was talking about. And there's the main entrance of Turtle Rock at the Spike Cave entrance.
Ice Palace leads to Connector. Well, that's not helpful.
We are aware of that. There's the back of Desert, which...
Won't be there for a while.
Nope. Big ball of nope. That is a hint. Cave sealed southeast of Dark Lake Hylia is a common shop.
That's unfortunately not very good, because you still have to go for the other two entrances.
Right. It is a... You know, they don't call it the shopping mall for nothing. Alright. Fairy Fountain in the old man's home. Jay Coper taking a death inside Turtle Rock after acquiring the Chain Chomp chest, which is in logic if you can get in the door in the middle of the dungeon.
Yeah,
As Link.
that's
Apparently not. Just got a question asking if you die with Smith, does he go away? Apparently not. So Turtle Rock and Swamp turn out to be our 5 and 6 crystals, with the bomb shot being located on the right-hand side, or the left of the two caves on East Death Mountain, and the right one is ice. Meanwhile, Shireen heading through Spike Cave.
ooh, Shireen didn't activate the cane fast enough though. Oh, or it's just using a fairy.
So I
really gotta
believe
say
that
fairy.
hint said that the back of Skull Woods led to Turtle Rock. Oh, flippers, hello.
Ooh, that's a good find. And Shireen also found Master Sword hiding in
Ooh.
the back of Spike Cave.
And that will grant him access to the flute.
I didn't see what was on Ether, but judging by the fact that he's
Just
not
a
going
piece of
back
art.
for it,
Yeah, it was just a piece of heart, I believe.
hurt pizza.
Right. Oh, we got Blind's Hut on top of East Death Mountain. More chests for days. 300 rupees. Bombs. Red rupee. A compass of desert. And the final item, piece of heart. So once again, 5 item location turning out to be pretty garbo.
Yeah. Well, we found our 5 items.
Yeah, I think we're still missing Mini Moldorm,
Yeah.
but yeah.
We can also...
Was that the cape on the floating island?
Yes, it was. Also, weirdly enough, Turtle Rock might be the quickest entrance into Hyrule Castle.
Wow, you're not wrong.
It is.
And you have the Quake Medallion. So Hyrule Castle it is.
I find that extremely funny, because I'm like, yeah, there's no way this could be the entrance to Hyrule.
I didn't realize the lumberjack house had a sign that told you what it was in the first place.
I actually think it does say lumberjack house. I'm not sure.
Huh.
Or there's like a sign over near Death Mountain that says Death this way. You know what? I
We've
can't.
got ourselves the big key of Turtle Rock in the front of Hyrule Castle, which happened to be in Turtle Rock, so yeah, about that.
I mean, if the shoe fits. So a lot of these chests in Hyrule Castle are technically not in logic without the small key, but
Yeah, these two down here actually are the ones.
right. But since Shireen can just get them all anyways, there's no point to save a key. Especially with Sanctuary being in a position where you can just drop down in the back anyway.
Yep. Alright, Shireen heading for Zelda's cell. Meanwhile, Jacob are clearing out the village of outcasts.
Stick some arrows in the guard. And shield 3.
Well, alright, Mirror Shield it is. Definitely not required, but not bad. Certainly makes the laser bridge easier. And there's another part of
Hyrule
Hyrule
Castle
Castle.
does lead to Hyrule Castle.
And we've got ourselves another hint. Mr. Hamburger Helper over here.
Just peg information, but we already knew that.
And left side is just Fairy Fountain. So there we go. That is the top of Hyrule Castle. Now the unfortunate part of this is that now you've got these sections of entrances, and now you're less likely to want to go to the pyramid. If there's something important there, it's bad.
True, but it also gets rid of these 3 entrances, and knowing that they're nothing definitely helps.
Alright, so Shireen follows the left side of Hyrule Castle and finds the dark Sahasrah's hut, as I call it. Over there. Doesn't look like he's going for the Dark Cross room here. He's just gonna leave.
Yeah, that's a little odd. He has the lamp, so it is in logic. But, okay. We're gonna do some more Death Mountain checks.
Alright, Super Bunny Cave exit is checkerboard with a big key.
Not a required one, but it is +1 items when you go into Swamp finally.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Jay Cooper did find the flippers, so...
And Shireen finds Spiral Cave. We know that Spiral Cave contains the Ice Palace big key, so he's actually going for it.
Yeah, it is required by logic.
It's logically required, and of course, the big chest could have something. That's the real part here.
Right, it's +1 items for Ice Palace, but since we know the Ice Palace bomb jump, it's yeah, it does exit the Waterfall Cave, which means he's kind of at SMQ point. There's not much else he can do.
Yep. Though at this point, I kind of expect him to go grab that flute.
He might, yeah. That's gonna increase the amount of things that he can do. That gives him all of my area, which is 7 entrances. I know we are still looking for... We're looking for Swamp Palace itself. But I think that's the only dungeon we haven't seen. Besides Ganon's Tower. Which with the amount of items that we need for this seed, there has to be something in Ganon's tower. No one's checked the shuffle spot yet.
Alright, Jay Coker has located Misery Mire and is going to dip into it.
He's going in with 2 hearts.
Alright, Shireen has acquired the flute. Looks like he's gonna head over to activate it momentarily. So, if you'll indulge me for a moment.
Go nuts.
So I think I will go sing this an octave low, just to see if it goes better today. But if it isn't good, I know that we will get through, and then we'll go back to bad jokes for days. Alright. So,
yeah.
Jay Cooper has entered.
He's dodging like a king here. Half heart for the last, like, 4 rooms. Unfortunately, anything in this dungeon will make him cry, but he gets a refill.
Oh, beautiful. That is just how you drew it up, right?
He's probably really happy about that.
It looks like Shireen's going back to Eastern, gonna go ahead and finish that.
Yeah, 2 more checks and he doesn't know it, but it's required, so... Well, actually, he does know it, it's a crystal. I think he did a map check real quick, find out that it was a crystal.
Alright. So, Jay Coper now having acquired a decent amount of items here. Oh, and Shireen finds the other mail upgrade over in Eastern. So,
yeah, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and once the flippers have been acquired, he can get the red mail if he really wants it. I wouldn't bet on it, but
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't see us.
Alright, so the trackers, as far as the dungeons go, if you see a door or, some brown decoration behind the boss, that means they have not found the dungeon. If the boss is dark, it means they have found the dungeon, but they haven't beaten the boss. If the boss is lit up, it means they beat the boss. Now, as far as the crystals and pendants go, those are going to be above the trackers there. And we do already know that they're going to need to beat all the pendant dungeons as well, because the big key of desert is on the pedestal. Oh, Eastern's a pendant.
Eastern's a pendant. My mistake. Well, he needed that. He's probably not happy about it, but he needed it. So I imagine he's gonna flute off to the Mire area now. Because he has a lot of doors that he wants to check.
Setting up for the spooky glitch in case Mire is here. It's not, but...
I think he already saw it, too. Mire is ether. And we found our Moldorms.
Alright, Mini Moldorm Cave located at the Mire Shed. Maybe we'll finally find a 5-chest cave with something good in it. Ice Rod.
It's required.
Small key to pod. Small key to swamp.
Ooh.
Wow, okay, this is where the hype cave was hiding.
Those are big one-off items, yeah. Ice Rod and Small Key to Swamp Palace can really ruin your day.
Yeah, found 2 ice rods in there.
Basically. And we found Swamp.
Speaking of Swamp Palace, Shireen, however, does not have the flippers.
Yeah, if only we had the flippers.
Alright, moving on.
Jay Cooper found the flippers in one of the waterfall fairies.
Yeah, it was the waterfall fairy. I just can't remember where it was.
Yeah.
And Jay Cooper finds the big key of Eastern.
Ooh,
Oh, we have GT. Ganon's Tower sitting in the lower Norfair entrance. And Bombos on the torch.
Grabbing that in case Ice Palace needs it.
Yeah, we could have Fire Rod sitting in Ice Palace somewhere.
So he's at the point where he can do, I think, all of it besides right side. He is missing a lot of small keys, though.
Yeah, there's a Tempered Sword, a key to this dungeon. Ten arrows, and a key to, not this dungeon, Castle Tower, which, if I'm not mistaken, we don't know where that is yet. Jay Cooper manages to find Palace of Darkness, also with just 1 small key.
He is skipping the map room chest, it looks like.
Though I'm not sure if he has found the big key yet.
I believe it was just sitting in the woods, so...
No, I mean of Pod.
Oh, of Pod. Sorry, Ganon's Tower was in the woods. Fortunately, with the bow and the small key, the mirror's fairly early in Pod. Should grab that.
Oh, right, he can't have gotten it because the hook shot locked the Pod big key, and the mirror is in here, so yeah. Alright, green rupee, piece of heart, and a big key of Skull Woods in Rando room, so pretty low value unless the Skullwoods big chest turns out to be a humongous deal.
Yeah, but that's just a fetch quest at this point. Keysanity. If you didn't like fetch quests before, we're gonna add a few.
We heard you like fetch quests, so we put fetch quests in your fetch quests, so you can fetch quest while you fetch quest.
So we added 3 more. Actually 4 more if you consider Hera Basement too.
Thieves Town big chest maybe?
Oh yeah, that's another one. Thieves Town small key. Ice Palace. Having one of those is actually very useful. Makes routing it a lot better.
Yeah, I feel nice about having 1 Ice Palace small key, 1 Misery Mire small key, makes things better too.
Nice about the ice. Alright. Shireen has slain the 12th Armos Knight. We will not be killing any more this seed.
And that's another small key to Turtle Rock. So, got Shireen heading to the right, has not opened these 2 chests on the right.
Has
another key to this dungeon.
Ganon's Tower wants you to do Ganon's Tower. Is he gonna climb it? He is not.
Yeah, he definitely could at this point.
And with coward.
With all the keys he found, it just put itself in logic.
Did he find all 4? I think he found 3 total. No, he only found 2 actually.
Yeah, but I think he had one already.
No, he grabbed the one
out
out of the pot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you have 3 going up Ganon's tower can be in logic, because there can be a key up in the mini Helmasaur room.
Right. Everything besides Moldorm 2 is in logic. Because Moldorm 2 requires all 4 small keys.
Oh, there's a big key of Thieves Town in the Dark Maze.
So that's actually our last big key, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, we know where the desert one is.
Yeah, so we know where all the big keys are, so they're not going to cause us any issues. And I think since we know where the Swamp Palace small key is too, we don't really need any more keys in this Keysanity.
What do you know? Looks like our missing in action items today are going to be the Fire Rod and the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah. So...
Oh yeah, I think the flippers were over here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I suppose we need 1 or 2 more pod smalls.
I mean...
Shireen, I think, has picked up 1 more, which is enough for them to clear the dungeon.
Speaking of clearing the dungeon, looks like Shireen is taking the Ice Palace plunge.
Curious what that back of Skullwoods is, if it's Turtle Rock back or the big chest.
It's got to be one of those two, and you know, I love finding me some laser bridge.
Yeah,
Quite a
we
few
have
items there.
Yeah, we have the mirror shield, so all that is in logic.
I kind of want to see Cane of Samaria in the big chest of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty funny.
Totally do that.
Yeah, as long as you have the hook shot, it's in logic.
Alright, so Shireen is going to go ahead and make his way through Ice Palace here.
Yeah,
Doing
Jay
the setup
Cooper's gonna finish off Eastern too.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, game. Purple chest leads to 50 rupees. Yeah, I knew that already.
It might be helpful for Jay Cooper. I don't think he's done that yet.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like he might do that before he heads back to Ice Palace. Who knows?
He needs a weapon. He needs to find Bombos. He still does not have a sword.
Alright, Shireen, now into the bowling room here, and should be picking up some new items shortly.
Yeah, now we're at the meat of Ice Palace. Flippers are on Eastside Death Mountain, I believe. Paradox Cave. The bottom entrance is Waterfall Ferry. Or it could be the Titansmith's locked one.
Yeah, it's one of those two. Alright, so Shireen has located 20 rupees. Basically, we're just looking for the Cane of Samaria and the Fire Rod to know where everything is.
We know that Desert Palace Big Key is on pedestal.
Jay Cooper going for that red mail.
Yeah, he's
Cowards Unite.
gonna beef himself up.
Speaking of Ganon's Tower keys, there's another one in Ice Palace.
Oh yeah, those last couple items, they can be anywhere. Samaria can be at the top of Ganon's Tower, easy. I believe there's one more Ganon's Tower key, because there's 4 in chests. And it looks like we're going to see the back of Thieves Town by Jay Coper here.
Interesting.
He's got the small key and the hammer, so he can grab everything.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid play.
Again, no sword still makes this dungeon a little rough.
Yeah. Though you can hammer blind.
He also has Burna, I believe, so.
Oh, yeah. Getting a burner blind is pretty fun. Alright, map of ice in ice. Good job.
Ice didn't seem to have anything. Just a Ganon's Tower key to put more of that in logic.
Alright, let's see what our resident cold stare has. Upstairs in Thieves Town, we've got a skylight and a piece of heart.
Tempered Sword, Cold Stare, this should be a very quick fight. He accidentally poked him though, so they got away. Gets him back in the wall though, and
Down goes Cold Stare.
easily done. Nothing for it though. Really nothing for it.
What, you don't want to lose track of your items again, Sarah?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it might actually help him remember the fact that he did skip out a fire bar room.
Oh yeah, I think you did that on purpose. Oh, there's the last sword.
That's
in
good.
Thieves Town.
Ironically, it's his first sword. So, yeah, Shireen's getting his flippers. There's a question in chat about how this mode competitively. I believe it does. Keysanity always tends to give a little more weight to people's skill rather than luck. It rewards people who are more thorough about their checks and routes seeds more appropriately by letting them not waste extra time that like a normal person who would make gambles would be able to make up a lot of time in, because you have considerably more items that you need to find in a Keysanity type seed. I mean, it usually, like, the longer seeds tend to make things more towards skill oriented than
Yeah, the longer the seed runs, the more good you have to get. Which is why this is my favorite mode that I am absolute garbage at.
I like the puzzle, it's a lot of fun. We got the hint that Satara Basement leads to the hammer, finally, and
Good job, Swamp.
Palace here.
And Swamp has a pod key.
Jay Cooper finding his sword is probably very happy about that.
I just looked away for half a second, didn't see what Shireen found in that chest.
I will be honest, I didn't either. 20 bucks.
Alright, cool. Alright, Jay Coper heading back through the Light World Hype Cave connector out to Bumper Cave. He's going to find Sahasrara, which is going to give him that hook shot Oh wait, no, this is the connector.
Yeah, he's
Sazrala is in a mirror spot. It's just not that one.
yeah, he's
It's
at
in,
the race game.
Graveyard Ledge?
Race game left side.
Oh yeah, race game. Yeah, I'm dumb.
Shireen has everything for Swamp Palace, which we're gonna go clear Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd probably just go ahead and hit up left side, but you never know.
There's the other castle tower.
Another T-Rock key. J. Coper finds the dam.
We haven't found Agam's tower either.
We have not.
I wonder where it could be. Maybe over in the shopping mall area?
Did we find a hint that told us what was in Ganon's tower?
We did not.
Yeah, I think it's there.
He just moved his tower to a different tower.
I mean, that's where it is in inverted mode.
It is, yeah.
Aga just didn't get the memo. Thought we were playing inverted instead. In this seed, no dungeons can be at the GT spot other than Aga Tower. Or Ganon's Tower. But Ganon's Tower's not there.
Yeah, it's just this specific seed.
In other seeds, you can definitely have a pendant dungeon there. As long as pendants aren't required for the crystals.
Yeah, this seed has a weird logic because of that Desert Palace big key.
Alright, left side swamp has Compass of Pod. So 1 bust and 10 arrows.
Yeah, not finding a lot in Swamp Palace either, but I mean, we are down to 2 items, so.
If it is a small consolation, he did only have 11 arrows. So he actually managed to get some arrows.
I mean, maybe if he can find silver somewhere in here, that would really help him out.
Alright, so there are 4 more items remaining here in Swamp. Looks like J. Coper is going to go to Moth.
Where do you think he would go to next? Also, J. Cooper didn't find the fire rod, so he has to bomb jump this room.
He's doing the sequence break here.
And
yeah, as you can see, backing up into that wall lines you up directly to do the bomb jump. Pretty straightforward. You got a piece of heart and another piece of heart inside the 2 submerged chests.
this is gonna be a spicy moth too.
Yeah, Fighter Sword Moth sounds not fun.
Well, he's got the hammer, but
I still remember that one time I had to do Cane Moth. That was fun.
oh gosh. I know, like, in the random regular logic that gold B is considered enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've never seen it be required, but
Oh, Shireen with some very nice dash pokes there. Attempting to employ the 1 cycle Argus. Unfortunately, or 0 cycle Argus. Unfortunately, that's also a bit RNG dependent. You have to get good movement patterns on Argus as well.
that was a very good moth too by J. Cooper.
And the Ether Medallion found for Shireen.
That gives us Mire access.
Yeah, but I believe we saw that Misery Mire led to a common shop. I believe that was one of the hints.
Oh, true. So 3 crystals down, and are like the only one that they share is Hera.
Yeah, but you definitely have Hera at this point. Does look like Shireen is going for Meyer, so... I mean, maybe I'm misremembering. Oh, it's a fairy fountain.
Either way, not useful.
Yeah. It was the lift that was the common shop. The lift on Dark Shopping Mall.
Right, that's right. Because we haven't been over on that side yet.
Alright. Shireen now heading to 4. Speaking of Dark Shopping Mall, I kind of feel like that's what he's gonna check here.
Possibly. I think he's out of dungeons that he can clear fully, and... I mean, he also could go back to Pod, too, but... I think he only has 3 total keys for Pod, so... He might not want to do that yet.
Well, maybe he's going to Pod.
He did also spend a key on the front door, so if he wants everything in Pod, he'll need all 5. He'll need 5 keys. It's going back to
checking the witch, which of course is just a piece of heart today. So great there. And Jay Coper has suddenly found himself with a tempered sword after going to Moth and getting...
Yeah, his first sword was at an hour 30, and his third is at an hour 37.
Yep, now he just goes to GT, gets the last one, and there you go. First to tempered sword, Shireen. First to gold is Jacob.
Dig spot, just a full heart container.
Yeah, Jay Coper checked that one a little earlier as well. Alright, Shireen heading up north. This might be going to Pod. No, looks like he's going right by Pod.
I think he is actually going to do purple chest, but this is going to lead him to get his flute.
Yeah, Jay Coper will get the purple chest for sure.
Yeah.
Looks like Shireen's gonna check the hobo real quick, which Jay Coper did with the fake flippers. Meanwhile, Jay Coper is gonna check the back of the race game. This is where he's gonna find the hook shot.
Yeah, this is good. No green pendant yet because it's at Pod, but this does help him.
I don't know why Shireen uses the pug sprite, but that would be that might be why.
He did it to confuse us. Looks like Shireen actually is probably going to do the catfish route.
Gonna go ahead and check the pyramid while he's here. Looks like
it's only one entrance and one item up that way, but you never know if it's something you'll need.
Alright, we got a small key. Probably Pod, I would guess.
Yeah.
No, Skull Woods.
Not a useful one.
Yep, we found both of the Skull Woods keys floating around.
Yeah, that does put all the Skull Woods in logic, but...
Alright, Jay Coper has found the Witch's Hut as well. Shireen finds the cave formerly known as Cave 45 up in the Dark Witch's Hut.
Someone called it Graveyard Ledge the other day, and I just thought that was the best name.
Yeah, that is a pretty good name.
I like the duality it had with Graveyard Ledge, since they both require mirror to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Another small key.
That's the last GT key.
Okay, so he's got all 4 of them, so that puts upper GT in logic. What was the GT false spot? It wasn't
I think
fairy.
it's the Lost Woods hideout.
Oh, yeah, so it's 1 item.
And Jay Coper acquiring the flute. He's like, oh, a flute. That's new. And Shireen gonna pick up that map.
Yeah, he's probably going to pick up that key, too, because it's still looking for small keys to pod. He doesn't want to get locked out of pod. I think if he finds a 4th pod small key, he'll go back and do it.
Misery Mire.
Nothing doing without the cane. You can't finish Misery Mire.
Yep. So I kind of feel like we might see go back into the portal and then get in the whirlpool over here and go to shopping mall.
Yeah. Except I think it's in a different spot. It's in a weird spot.
It's just to the left over here. Yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah, those are 3 entrances. You know one is a shop, but...
Yeah, so Jay Coper did just check the Lake Hylia Island. I didn't quite see what it was, but he noped out pretty quick.
I think they're gonna meet over up at shopping mall, too.
Yeah. We have a convergence. Alright, Dark Ice Rod is a shop. Oh yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, it was the sealed one.
Hey, there's Agate Tower.
We're gonna sink our way up through it. Tempered Sword spins, take out these ball and chain guards like nothing.
Oh, but you know what? Jay Coper has no small keys.
Ooh. He hasn't found either of them yet.
Yeah, one's in GT and the other one's what? Thieves Town or something? No, it wasn't Thieves Town. He's done Thieves Town. Ice.
I think it was Ice, yeah.
Baby. Silvers.
Silvers. That's kind of rough. It wastes a couple, about a minute on Ganon, but not super important.
Lumberjack Cave was Lumberjack Cave with a vanilla piece of heart on it.
So nothing over there.
I'm definitely okay with getting silvers, though. Feels good. Alright, Chicken Hut at Dark 5.
We're missing a connector to... Let's see, the
Turtle Rock Ledge thing?
Yeah, or both Turtle Rock ledges and the island, which has the cape on it. We know that cape's not required, but actually that cape could be the bumper connector to one of those other ledges.
So I think one of those... Yeah, I think the bumper connector is a thing, but the floating island has the cape on it, so...
Right, which means it's not Bumper Cave that connects to it, but it could be a connector to that ledge, and then Bumper Cave is to a different ledge.
So I think this is how it has to play out. I think the back of Skull Woods has to be Big Chest of Turtle Rock, and Laser Bridge goes to the floating island.
That's interesting. Also, we found a Hotel Mario here.
That's the best name I've ever heard. Wow. I can't believe I didn't think of that. I usually just call it bed and breakfast, but my goodness, that is the best.
Happy to help.
Though it did just, conjure up memories of the CDI, but we'll just pretend that didn't exist.
I mean, that's half the point. So Shireen is gonna do backup Skullwoods too, also without the without the fire rod.
Yep, and just like before, setting up the easy bomb jump. That is like
It's one of the
basically
easier
simplest
ones,
bomb
yeah.
jumps. Though, basically the one way you fail that one is you get grabbed by the hand.
Yeah, I mean, but that's less risky than falling 8 times on the Ice Palace one.
Mm-hmm. Alright, Shireen onto the moth fight. And it looks like Jay Coper will be following some of the same stuff Shireen just did.
Yeah, found the chicken hut. Moth is down. That gives Shireen their 4th crystal.
Mm-hmm. Now, the one...
Which at this point we know that Thievestown and Misery Mire are both pendants, I believe.
No. It's Pod, Eastern, and one other.
Oh, Eastern was a pendant, that's right. So it's either
Yeah.
Thievestown or Misery Mire.
And I think it was a crystal for Jay Coper in Thievestown.
Oh, he did mark it as a crystal. So yeah, that's possible. So it would be Misery Mire then.
But we do need the Cane of Samaria before that happens, so...
I mean, we need the Cane and the Fire Rod for Total Rock, so regardless, we're going to be looking for those forever.
Yup.
I just realized, I remembered that Shireen didn't actually check the Dark Chest and Dark Cross in Hyrule Castle.
Oh my.
I'm hoping
That's
that
the Cane of Samaria.
I'm hoping that doesn't come back to bite them.
Yeah, if that's the Cane, I am gonna throw a fit. Alright, Shireen has now entered Misery Mire. Once again, we know this is not going to give him what he wants.
To chat, the Bumper Cave entrance that we found was the front side of Bumper Cave, so they do need the cape for it.
Yeah.
And we haven't found the back entrance to Bumper Cave yet.
So one thing about the connectors is there are certain areas and entrances where you know there has to be at least one connector heading there. So the Turtle Rock Ledge, or both of them, Floating Island, things like that.
Yeah, Floating Island needs to have a connector. The Turtle Rock Ledge and one of the double entrances in the Turtle Rock Middle have to have a connector.
Right.
The dark version of Bumper Cave has to have a connector, and Desert Palace Right has to have a connector.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's just those 5, but
Yep, and it has to be just one end of the connector. You can't have both ends at 2 of those locations. Well, you can in a couple of cases. Like, you could have a connector going from the Turtle Rock Bridge to another place if you can get there from another location.
right, I mean, it would have to be... We also haven't found Paradox.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's 3 entrances that just have not been found.
Now,
Since we're on the subject of connectors.
yeah, I was like, I think Jay Coper never actually checked that chest that Shireen just picked up. Maybe he's found a hint about it. Not sure.
I thought Jay Cooper did everything. Dark Cross was just a compass, unfortunately. Or fortunately for Shireen, anyway.
Yeah, if you're Shireen, it's pretty fortunate.
Trying to think what could connect to those at this point, though. It probably has to be Turtle Rock back, but it's not like we have a lot of loose connectors right now. Did they check? Desert Palace right actually might be a connector that leads to those
I believe
ledges.
we saw Desert Palace right from
Did we?
Jacob.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you exactly where it went. I forgot to write it down. But I know he went out.
Yeah, I thought we saw left and center. I wasn't sure if we saw all three, though.
I think it actually put him out somewhere on East Death Mountain.
So Shireen finished up his Mire dip.
Oh yeah, it was Spiral Cave exit. That's what, or entrance.
Oh, okay. Where to now?
Well, Shireen's heading to 6, so we can see what we can find over here. He's seen a lot of this already, but I think he's still short a couple of things.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure what he's got left over here.
Ganon's Tower.
Is he gonna make the climb now? He's gonna go for that one chest on the side. Yeah, technically that chest is locked by 4 keys too. So.
True. And it's not locked by the hookshot, strangely enough, if you have the boots.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out you can bonk down to it.
I've seen the hookshot in here a few times. It's kind of gross.
Just a heart.
And we've
He's
got
gonna make the
Shireen
climb.
going to the top.
5 items for clearing this.
Yep, and at this point, it kind of feels like the highest concentration he's got, other than Pod. So he didn't clear a ton of Pod while he was there.
Yeah, but he also has only found, I think, 3 keys to Pod.
Yeah.
That doesn't even put the back of Pod into logic.
3 puts the back into logic.
Thought it was 4, because he has the bow and the hammer.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
there's gonna be one back there. That's how Pod works, right?
There's gonna be, yeah, but even if there's one on back there, it still doesn't put into
I know.
logic. It's Pod.
Yeah. Now, the real problem for Shireen is he still doesn't know what's on the pedestal.
And he also doesn't know about the Thieves' Town Big Key. He's still missed that. And for the life of me, I can't remember where Cooper found it.
It was in the dark maze of Pod.
Oh, that's right. That's right, he hasn't gone back to Pod. We were just discussing this. He also hasn't switched to silver arrows to reduce lag.
Maybe. And he just switched back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess he deliberately turned them off in the gauntlet and then turned them back on for Landmo 2.
It's an interesting strat. It seemed to work out well for him.
What did Jay Coper just pick up? It looked... I couldn't tell.
I missed it.
It wasn't red, so I guess...
It couldn't have been important if it wasn't.
Right.
I'm watching Shireen's Samaria-less Ganon climb because these rooms are terrible without Samaria.
Yeah, they're pretty bad without Samaria, but they are literally the best with Samaria.
I
Just
know.
throwing that
Well,
one out there.
it's just you don't practice them with anything else. Shireen has a couple-minute lead due to the hammer logic that was early in the seed. But Cooper is slowly catching up.
And the longer Shireen goes without knowing that the pendants are going to be required, the worse off he gets. All right, there's another pod key. That'll do it for that.
So
Shireen.
Ganon's tower climb was required by logic. Let's just get that out.
Powder, which we did find the magic bat.
Yeah, the bat was over at the water or the fairy drop.
I think it was sank.
Oh yeah, it was sank. Okay. That's right, because it required the glove and the powder.
If that turns out to be Kane of Samaria, then you're going to be, real happy about climbing GT. J. Coper has now acquired that big key of pod in Hookshot Cave. And speaking of Hookshot, there's the cane!
Whoa, what a freaking spot for it.
What a seed, y'all.
So, GT climb required. At this point, you're killing Aga too.
Oh yeah. There's an item behind Aga 2, so you go for it.
Or would you take the gamble and mirror?
Nah.
So you could get down to do the right side. Actually, the right side isn't even in logic without the fire rod.
Right. And so worst case scenario is the fire rod's in tile room, I guess?
Oh, that would be awful. I could not think of a worse spot at this point.
But it doesn't take him that long to get back to GT if he really wants to check that.
Yes, but adding the cane means he's probably going to do Mire first and finish off Turtle Rock. No, he can't finish off Turtle Rock, he needs that fire rod. Laser Bridge is in logic now, though.
Yeah, there is that.
Alright, what do we have?
Red Boomerang.
Red something. Not what we wanted, though.
Needs more burnination.
I mean, so, still unequivocally, the GT climb was required.
Oh, absolutely. Now, beating Aga 2, not so much.
No.
But you had to get close enough to smell it.
And he's still looking for the Thieves Down key, so,
Shireen, once again, skipping Dark Cross.
he's heading back up to Death Mountain area. I wonder what he has planned.
We will certainly find out. Taking a drop to the middle ledge here. Finds that pyramid fairy. Just a map and compass.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe Cooper already found that stuff.
Alright, he's going into Turtle Rock.
He hasn't grabbed anything from Turtle Rock. It puts almost every item in logic besides 2 in the front and Trinix himself.
Trinix. And the big chest, which at this point we have to assume is behind the fire rod. 10 arrows.
I think, I'm sure Jake Cooper did that one. I know he did the chain chomp, right?
Yeah, he did chain jump. He actually went to Crystal Roller, but he didn't go all the way to Laser Bridge because he didn't have the Cane of Samari at the time.
The Seed's logic has been pretty terrible. I don't blame Jake Cooper for having to take a few moments to think.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. I'd want to think a few times too. Alright, so Shireen now heading to the compass room.
Yeah, this is the one last chest he can get. I think he'll mirror out of this to save himself a key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now he'll just head down toward the laser bridge.
Yeah, this will be another 5 chests for him.
Meanwhile, Jay Coper has decided to revisit Pod with the big key in hand.
I mean, Firemon could be on Sahasrara.
That's true, and I imagine that Jay Coper's coming in here because he knows about the pedestal.
Yeah, he's probably just seeing what he can do and get done. He's in a similar spot to Shireen. He's missing really only the hammer and cane.
Yeah, the fire rod and the cane, and that'll do it for him.
But now we got our fingers crossed for Laser Bridge here.
Alright, laser bridge time. What do we have? A small key to Ice Palace, a piece of heart, a 10 arrow pack, and 3 bombs. So we're heading out the door.
Yeah, that's not a lot of anything. This
And
is...
as stated before, that put him on the bridge outside of Turtle Rock, which does grant us access to the Mimic Cave entrance.
It's one more check that hopefully has something he needs.
Paradox Cave! There we go.
Finally! You're gonna need to go in there.
Yeah, and that's where all the other connectors are.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Where is he
If
going?
he wants to heal up at a... Oh, he hasn't done Spiral Cave entrance, which was just the right side of desert, right? Right, he never went out the right side of desert. We discussed this a little while ago.
Yes, and that Paradox Cave is 7 more items, which, I mean, odds are.
Alright, so Jay Coper has gone ahead and finished off Helmasaur. Yeah, game overs are a part of life here and generally common in this.
Yeah, a lot of times you can death warp by dying, and it warps you to the beginning of a dungeon.
That's not the case in like the vanilla NMG speedrun that everybody likes.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, there's the Hyrule Castle small key, a small key to T-Rock, a small key to Pod, and a map, so still no Fire Rod.
Still not here. So he's gonna probably check the other entrances.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game isn't like Super Metroid where if you game over, you basically lose your entire save file.
Oh, Fire Rod's on Silas Rala!
Oh, it's the green pendant! That's major for Jay Cooper.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. So, not only does Shireen not know about the pedestal, he needs to do green pendant before he can get into go mode.
Ooh. No,
So,
I mean, with all the pod keys he has, he might be interested in doing that.
he's at 5. This has to lead up here. That's the only last entrance that basically exists.
He's got the cape. Yeah, and I guess the bumper cave connector then connects to the dark middle entrance there.
Yeah, that's the only place
Place
that
where
it
Laser
could.
Bridge usually lets out. All right. Oh.
This might be the information we
Shireen
need.
is going to the pedestal to see if this is a ped seed, and he is going to be not pleasantly surprised. It's like, what?
Now he's still not quite in go mode, but now he knows that it is a pedestal seed. So he is gonna start clearing dungeons, I think, as fast as he can.
Mm-hmm.
I assume his first goal is Misery Mire with that cane of his.
With the cane and the fact that he's on Death Mountain.
Ooh, he just missed that ledge though.
Yeah, that happens, especially when you've got the spin speed going.
Yeah, spin speed moves you at 4 frames, or 4 pixels a frame, so it is possible to get just totally screwed.
And of course, when you're spin speeding, if you go up against a ledge and press down at all, you just immediately fall. So yeah, this will just be a immediate clear of.
It's almost a go mode Mire if he hadn't already
Mire.
been in here.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jay Cooper's working through Swamp Palace, which fortunately also didn't have anything really, but I mean, the seed, like, had a fair amount of front-loaded stuff, then bottlenecked you at Hera.
Now it's bottlenecking you with the pedestal for a second
Yeah.
here.
I gotta pull the Master Key in order to defeat Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Kingdom Hearts key.
Oh no. There's too much lore. Too much lore in this game. Get out. All right, Shireen, going ahead to flip the switch. So you don't often get to see the normal spooky action glitch setup in Entrance Keysanity, but sometimes it happens. But you can do spooky action in a different way by dropping a Samaria block into a hole. That's going to set your value that Spooky cares about to as high as it'll possibly go. So as long as you can maintain the spooky state from there, after dropping the Samaria block in a hole, you can do the spooky glitch. You just have to fire at a different spot. With the fire.
Yeah, it's like way at the bottom of the screen to do it that way. It's a bit rough to do though.
That is how it was originally discovered, and then people found a better setup.
Yeah, they found out that the bird modified that value of all things.
Mm-hmm. Swag Duck to the rescue, that's all I'm saying.
I think Shireen is gonna go into pod now. And he has all 6 pod keys, finally. So,
And if he takes that green pendant to Saha's Rala, he will be in really good shape.
yeah, that will be his go mode actually if he does that.
And it's not completely out of the question. When you finish pod here, you're going to be right there, and Saha's Rala, if we recall, was at the dark race game, so if you think about it, you can just head over there.
That said, he might pull Pedestal first.
There is that possibility as well.
Because, he knows that it's Desert Palace Big Key, and he's maybe thinking that Fire Rod could be behind that.
Alright, Jay Coper has made his way into Ganon's tower. I think this is his first trip.
Yeah, I don't believe he's found this entrance before. If he takes the gamble and climbs it right away, that'll be very helpful for him. It will actually, I believe, put him in go mode.
Yeah.
Is he missing? No, he's... Yeah, he's not missing any big keys. If he climbs this tower, he'll be in go mode. I mean, he doesn't know... He doesn't know, Desert Palace entrance, though.
Yeah. So, as of right now, no one has finished. There is a bot that will post the finish times of people who do finish in the chat, so that will be available for you when that happens. So you'll know basically when we do. So Jay Coper finally gets that first castle tower key, so if he wants the silvers, he can go back there, but he doesn't know that they're there. Oh yeah, the number of heart containers that you get in cross keys is ridiculous. If you don't finish with like 20 or 19 or so, you probably had a really fast seed.
There's a possibility that Shireen might go back for right side GT looking for Fire Rod, but Jay Cooper's only missing Samaria. At this point, he's not missing any keys.
Yeah, and of course, Shireen would know that there's only one item on right side GT that could possibly be the Fire Rod.
Right.
And that's the tile.
Yeah, just the tile.
Oh, and there we go. We have our first finisher, Act the Poker. Not gonna say I'm surprised at all by that. He might play a ridiculous amount of entrance. Just throwing that one out there. I don't know if there is a preferred controller for Link to Pass Randomizer, but that is one of them.
I know a lot of people use the iBuffaloes, and the 8-Betos are really good too. And we just had a second place finisher. Korg finishes with 2:13.55, just behind Eck.
Wow.
Comment was that he fell on Ganon, so that fall was for you, Eck.
There you go. Alright, Shireen has made his way into the turtle room of Pod. That's going to grant him access to Helmasaur. Get that green pendant.
Shireen did find his Thieves Town big key as well, making Fire Rod the last item that he needs for go mode.
You can, yes, you absolutely can change your heart color as part of the...
No, Jake Cooper's bailing out though.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It stinks that he's just right in front of his go mode item, but climbing Ganon's tower is such a rough thing to do.
I mean, maybe he's just stepping outside to peek at Misery Mire, but...
I hope he goes back in, gets it done.
Who knows?
And actually, Might look like Shireen is going to turn in
Oh.
Green Pendant right away.
Oh, yeah, Shireen might be going for it. This would put him well. This would put him into the go mode, and then all he's got to do is go finish Desert, for all I know.
And Thieves Town.
Yeah, and Turtle Rock.
And Turtle Rock.
Nice. Well done, Shireen. That's going to be go mode.
2, 16, and 11. It's got 3 fairly quick dungeons to still complete. Desert Palace and Turtle Rock are fairly fast, though we don't know where... Or Turtle Rock back is in a bad spot, so he has to go through the middle.
Yeah, I think he's going to go to the Skull Woods back entrance here and burn it. He could, anyway.
He could. I think he's just going to pull the key.
He's just going to get the key. It would be slightly more efficient, I think, to go to the Skull Woods back entrance, mirror, get the key, and then come back and just finish Thieves Town while you're there. Or, not Thieves Town, Turtle Rock. You know that. The dungeon where they do the things.
The dungeon with all the enemies. So that said, where's the small key to Desert Palace?
No idea.
Because technically that's required by logic.
My guess is the big chest of Desert Palace.
Yeah, that's possible.
It's not in Turtle Rock big chest, we just saw that. Could be on the right side of Turtle Rock. Behind the fire rod. Shireen is... He went to Turtle Rock, but he went to the main entrance of Turtle Rock. I mean, not Turtle Rock, Desert. How do I have words?
Yeah, I think
I forgot how to words.
He has that marked as Desert back. The Desert main entrance is in the bottom left of dark left side.
Yeah. He's got that marked as well, so...
Dracaris finishes in 3rd with 2:18.09.
Yep, no real surprises coming from there either.
I know, these 3 are really good runners.
But yeah, nobody count out Shireen here. Shireen's doing pretty well. And we've got 30 plus, runners in this race. 32, I believe. So top 8 gets that top 25% that gives you the goal score. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shireen in that top 8.
I wasn't ever in the top 8.
Oh no, I wasn't ever close to the top 8.
I know, these runners in these seeds are just really, really good at this game.
It's a pretty interesting race, the Dragoth. We've had a pedestal seed that required you to get the validation chest in Ganon's Tower. I mean, that's about the way it goes.
I mean, it was a pedestal seed, it was a Ganon's Tower seed, it was a green pendant seed.
Yeah. Shireen is actually fairly close. He's just got to finish Thieves down here, finish Turtle Rock, and then finish Desert.
Yeah, Shireen is in cleanup. He has silver arrows, so he's in a good spot.
And he just got Butter Sword.
That was a free gold sword.
Yeah, he did what I do and opened that chest when I'm in go mode. And it just it helped. If you can get something that'll help you there, why not?
Looks like we have our 4th, Goomba 90, with a 4th place finish of 2:20.20.
Yeah, Goomba's also sickeningly good at this game. This game.
Jay Cooper is working through ice. He's got everything he needs, and the fire rod makes this even faster.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't possible to do this seed while hovering the Moldorm 2 gap. Well, that's not true. You absolutely could hover the gap.
You could,
but you have to kill Moldorm anyway.
Right, that would have been awful if you hovered that gap just to kill Laga.
Alright, Shireen is heading over to the back of Desert, you know to be in the southwest corner of the Dark Death Mountain area. And then the quickest way to get to Turtle Rock.
I mean,
you've got the eye wall, you've got the back of Skull Woods.
That was the Turtle Rock front that he just dropped down of at
Yeah, you could do that.
Spike Cave Ledge.
That is certainly something you could do. I don't know if I'd be okay with it if I didn't have all the keys at that point.
I think he does have all the Turtle Rock keys. He's marked at 4.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it would have been faster for him to do that and then Desert back afterwards. Just because...
No, you're right. You're right.
Because it's going to drop him off.
It'll drop you off there. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Probably would have been fastest to go to Skullwood's back, take the big chest entrance.
I mean, this is all super hindsight because we get to sit here and think about it while they're trying to do it as fast as possible.
Oh yeah, there's no way I could do this with a controller in my hand. We got 19 hearts now for Shireen.
Almost got that full 20, but I think he's missing 4 pieces of hearts still.
Yeah, so there is no cap on the number of runners that can be qualified for this tournament. There are 2. You need to complete at least 2 qualifier races in order to do it. Now, that may seem like a low bar to entry, but it is still a bar to entry. You have to be able to complete 2 of these seeds. And that's good enough.
Turtle Rock. How are you gonna get there?
That way.
Oh, that way. That works.
Yeah, this is only slightly slower than taking the big chest entrance, and it's probably quicker to get to the entrance. So there you go. Jay Cooper finishing off Ice Palace.
Getting that as his 5th crystal.
Once again, unfortunately, will be unable to complete the seed without heading up Ganon's Tower to get that Cane of Samaria.
Right. He finished off Turtle Rock and Misery Mire items, and he knows he can't get anything left in Desert, so I'm hoping he goes back to Ganon's Tower at this point.
Speaking of finishing off, we've got P-Train 24 finishing in 5th place with a time of 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 33 seconds.
6, go to 6. Good job. I think Cooper's got it. If he goes up Ganon's Tower, he'll be in go mode.
And Shireen, 18, now heading over to Trinex. This will be the last boss before Ganon time. Which, as we recall, was at the Uncle's Tunnel, so... quick flute to 4, or... I guess it would be a mirror, then a flute to 4. Or perhaps just a save and quit.
I don't know if I don't know if Jay Cooper's seen that entrance or not.
The desert one?
Yeah, the desert back.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that he has. I'm not convinced he's seen the front of Turtle Rock either.
It might be he hasn't done... I know he's done light side, left side Death Mountain.
Yeah, he just I don't think he's done Dark West Death Mountain.
Well, hopefully he has an entrance tracker and he just knows those entrances he hasn't checked yet. It is fairly quick to check those, especially since I know he's gotten most of the other entrances in the seed down.
Alright, so Shireen does the mirror, gets mirror bonked,
Gets bonked.
does the mirror again. We got Matt 7898 coming in 6th place with a 226.39. And Shireen is now heading to the Ganon fight. So we're gonna get that finish time in pretty soon.
Ganon at Uncle's Well.
Alright, gold sword, blue mail for Shireen, and 19 hearts. I think this is gonna be fine.
Shireen versus Weetabix. Dash strats with that gold sword.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of tasty. Alright, there is 1 hit in phase 3, 2 hits in phase 3. Whoop.
Got some fire bats.
A little early. It makes the fire bats happen. Jay Cooper using ether strats on the way up.
That's pretty
tower.
good. Ether's a pretty fast medallion. Needs the magic though for the fire.
Yeah, I think he can pick up enough under some pots in the next room to be fine. And there we go, Shireen finishing off Ganon.
Looks like he came in 7th place overall. 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 34 seconds.
Well done, Shireen. Should get that man in here for an interview.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about between Hera and Fire Rod and Samaria. Alright, and Jay Cooper is actually going to be in go mode very shortly. Taking out Moldorm 2 and getting that Cane of Samaria is going to be the last item he needs. Not go mode specifically, it's going to be item go mode. He needs to find desert.
And he also has to go pick up the Desert Big Key after beating Misery Mire.
Right, but he knows where that is.
And we are now joined by our on-screen winner, Shireen. Good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Well done.
Yeah,
That was a mess, but it was cool.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just have a, green pendant required, pedestal required, validation chest required run. How about that?
Yeah. All in all, I'm kind of happy with my time. This was definitely slow. It obviously sped up, I was really frustrated with my light world, so to speak. This literally played like an open mode seed. It's like, oh, get your dark world access, not through a connector. I felt horrible about everything and every second I was in Tower of Hera. I knew going in I was gonna be behind, but I'm happy for 7th place. I'm happy with a sub 230 on a PED gauntlet seed.
Yeah, super good time for this kind of seed.
Yeah, it was really interesting how the seed like completely locked everything behind Hera at the beginning, putting 3 required items right in there.
Yeah, that bottleneck, man. That was a bottleneck.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I did feel good about is knowing that there were 2 swords locked pretty deep in the logic. You kind of had to do an early spike cave to get a flute if you wanted one, so that was nice.
Yeah, so you know what? Go ahead and elaborate on that if you don't mind, because I'm not putting the swords together. Maybe I just can't remember where they were.
So there was one on Spectacle Rock, and there was one in Spike Cave. Those ones were next to each other. One was in the back of Thieves Town, with the Thieves Town big key being, I think, locked behind like 6 pod keys.
Yeah.
The other sword was in GT, which was locked into the Mire area.
Right.
So,
which required the flute anyways, because there was no connectors to Mire.
So the way to only get your flute logically, I mean, you can go to the back of pod. I'm sure people did that. I hate pod and cross keys. I always feel like it's a bad play, but it's always a good play.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that makes sense. There was only really 2 swords in logic for the flute, and they were both behind Mirror.
I wish I checked pedestal. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier on. If Jay Coker actually checked the pedestal quite early, so we knew that the pedestal seed was going to be required. But I mean, you did eventually check it at about the right time, to be honest. When you were about to head to Mire, I guess.
It's like one of those things where it's like, this is like, I can't tell you how many times this happens where I feel like it's getting late in the cross keys. I'm 2 big keys and a fire rod for go mode, so I can't skip things, right? Because I'm 3 items for go mode. But then I find out, like, based on the pedestal knowledge, I probably would have rushed pod a lot earlier, and having, you know, the Thieves Town big key be there and podlock the fire rod as well, I could have had all 3 of those items, all 3 of my go mode items, a lot sooner.
It was a while before you had 4 pod keys, though. They were buried, pretty much. Because the fire rod didn't block anything, it was just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, you can go into pod with, like, 3, and then there's no reason to... I mean, if you go in with 3, you're checking Dark Maze, you're killing the boss, if you know pedestal's required. You might scum a key and come back for Hellway or Vanilla Big Key, but... I think doing pod early would get me Thieves Town completable. I would probably get my Fire Rod early. Like, we had pod Big Key, bow, and hammer, like, super early.
Yeah, the biggest thing is you just didn't have the small keys to actually, like, both you and Jake Cooper went in with 1 key at the time, and I think you both used it on the front door.
Yeah. I could have got baited into a lot of Fire Rod checks, but it also would have helped with the Turtle Rock shenanigans if I had that Fire Rod. That was something.
So, speaking of Fire Rod, it was a real heads-up play there to, after beating pod, not go directly to the pedestal to pull that key and instead go check Sahasrara. So,
I was actually thinking, if Sahasrara didn't have anything, I would do Thieves Town first, and then I would combo Skullwood's big chests into my ped pull. I would go over there anyway, because the woods would spit me out by the pedestal. So I was going to check that. I was worried about that big key for a long time. But yeah, Sazerala was in such a weird spot that I had to do it after pod. I just kept telling myself, don't save and quit. Turn it in.
That was a really good play. There was, I think, I'm not sure if you got the hint, but Skullwood's back was actually the right entrance to the Turtle
Yes.
Rock.
I got a hint that it was some sort of connector, which is why I kind of rushed TR once I had the cane, because I'm like, if that's Laser Bridge, that's locked there, and for some reason, like, you have the fire on Laser Bridge, that's going to be a fun sequence. So I was down between Laser Bridge and Big Chest, and I'm like, let's go explore Laser Bridge and see what happens. And then I realized by process of elimination, the back was the Big Chest, but I was Fire Rod for Go mode, and the Big Chest couldn't have anything for me.
Yeah, it was really strange that a lot of connectors, like the two Turtle Rock exit points and the floating island, were all like locked behind Turtle Rock in some fashion.
Yeah, my favorite part was exploring Hyrule Castle through Turtle Rock entrance. Like, usually that's not your first Hyrule Castle.
We got the hint super early that Turtle Rock was going to be the Hyrule Castle, and we were laughing because it's like, oh, there's no way that's going to be the first Hyrule Castle entrance.
Nope.
And lo and behold, you go into it first because it's the first one you found.
I want to say one more thing. This was probably the most disappointing Paradox Cave I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
I found it like 2 hours in, and I'm like, yes, 2 of my 3 Go mode items, let's go. And I just get maps and compasses.
It was so late and it had nothing.
And all 3 of the entrances were dumb.
Yeah, big ball of garbage there. Beautiful. That is the most obscure Paradox Cave I've ever seen too. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, really?
Definitely a paradox in entrance randomizer.
Yeah, what was it? It was like Mimic Cave, Right Side Desert, and Floating Island.
Yep.
Yeah. It's dumb. So I do have to ask Shireen, did you skip Dark Cross on purpose?
Did I end up skipping Dark Cross?
You did.
I remember pulling out my mirror. I thought I was going to go back for that. I guess I got too baited into checking the connectors first.
You did. You checked both connectors and then you just left.
So I checked both connectors because I was like, the only thing that can kick me out right now is Meyer and not having the medallion. So I'm like, oh, let's just check the connectors first. But I guess doing that before checking Dark Cross kind of made me forget about Dark Cross.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It was dumb, but
It was just a compass down there, but
It wasn't my 20th heart, or I was missing 4 heartbeats. I was missing 4 heartbeats.
yeah.
that happens a lot in these.
Yeah, the heart count just kind of shoots through the roof in these.
Yeah.
192 out of 216. I believe that is a firm 90%.
I mean, that's
not
about
quite.
right. The only thing is that you just didn't do Right Side GT because Fire Rod couldn't be there. I think 2 chests in Desert.
So I'm gonna assume the other side of Bumper Cave spit you out at the Laser Bridge exit.
Yeah, that's the only
place
one we
can
haven't
think of.
seen. Yeah.
I haven't seen Pyramid Fairy or Ganon's Tower, but
We found Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
open
there
it up.
has to be a connector to put you out at that entrance anyway, so it's got to be that, basically.
I'm sorry, I think one of those is a house, because I think we didn't see all of them.
What was that?
One of them is one of the Kakariko junk houses that don't have anything in them.
Yeah, probably.
But all in all, I'm really happy with how the seed went. I felt a lot of stuff definitely went wrong early on. With, my first Hera dip, I did some big chest shenanigans. I then did not realize that my hammer and Hera basement, which was the most obvious Hera basement I've ever seen in my life, I wasn't thinking that I can kill Moldorm now, so I just left. And then I'm like, oh wait, I can.
I mean, both of you had issues with Hera. Jay Cooper, I think one of the biggest differences in time between the two of you was him not realizing he could do Hera basement. And I think that probably cost him about 5 to 10 minutes overall in this seed.
Ouch.
Yeah, and both of you actually went out and did Mimic Cave before you went back up to Hera.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a hammer. That's Mimic Cave, right? Yeah.
Right.
There were a lot of mistakes. I felt I did Smith sequence in a really bad time, even though it worked out. Like I checked Hookshot Cave and I did the Smiths, but I had so much to do. There was no reason to do the Smiths when I did.
I mean, as soon as you got that glove and the hammer and the world, like the world just opened up. Because it was so linear up until that point.
I felt like if the Smiths had something, that would be a huge advantage, and it wasn't too slow to do at that point, so I'm like, let's just knock it out.
I mean, I feel like you would, like, if I was in that scenario and I just picked up the Titan Smiths, I'd have been like, yeah, I'm gonna forget this if I don't do it right now.
Yeah, it's a nasty last location. If you don't do the Smiths then and there, you're coming back 2 hours later for something.
Yeah, because it's just a one-off at that point.
So, one other thing. I totally forgot what the pyramid dropdown was. So when I got the cane, I'm like, should I mirror and go do right side GT with a bomb jump? And then I'm like, I think it's the other item? I felt really bad when fighting Aga 2. I'm like, I don't know what this even is.
It's alright.
I got my red meringue, so...
We were asking that as you climbed, and we established that it was +1, but...
Yeah, luckily you found the Thieves Town big key before the fire rod, so you knew that it's just tile room that could have had it at that point.
I mean, there were ups and downs. If I get my fire rod early, I get baited into doing like right side GT and stuff. But I also potentially get to single dip the turtle rock shenanigans, and you know, I get a more thorough full clear. So there's time won, there's time lost.
All right.
And Jay Cooper is really close to this finish. Just a few more swings on Ganon, and he is down.
Jay Cooper unfortunately entered Aga Tower with no small keys and was unable to get those silvers.
And just has to cross the bridge.
There we go. Official finish time for Jay Cooper. 12th place with an official time 2 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds. Well played.
Fortunately, with all the late finishes in the seed, it's still going to be quite a bit of points for both of the runners. I mean, the first place finish was at 213, and the 8th place was 232. That means a lot of people are going to be in the 900 plus points range.
Yep, and the this particular seed, a lot of people are going to get, sidetracked, and there's a good 32 players. So, yeah.
Yeah, when I didn't see it done for a while, I'm like, this has to be pedestal, right? And then when it was the pedestal, I was like so upset because I'm like, I have so much to do. Someone's gonna finish and I'm gonna be like 20 plus minutes behind. But the pieces fell together at the end quick. I was able to do, Mire, Pod, Desert, Thieves, and TR, like my last 5 dungeons, probably in the last 10 to 15 minutes. So,
I mean,
sounds like we may have been joined by Jay Cooper. Am I making that up?
Maybe, but if you are, you're awfully lucky.
Cool.
Here. Hey. GG to Shireen. So that was interesting for me.
Yeah, I bet it was. That early game threw a lot of people for a loop there. That was a mess.
Yeah, probably not as badly as me for almost everyone, I would imagine. For Shireen's reference, I absolutely last location the boots, by far. Like, I just completely forgot about the Smithy area, which is where Hera was. So I, I saw the connector at the lawn guy, and then I saw the end of it at the spot below that at the tavern. And I had already decided that I was going to go through the connector and get the item in the hands, and then I was gonna do something else, I don't remember, and then come back and get the bottom 3 locations later. And at that point there, I completely forgot about the smithy area. Part of the reason why that happened is I like to put off the smithy area until I get the hammer, but it's less important for me to do that when I've already seen the well. So that's the biggest thing that you want to have the hammer when you go over there for, if the Cackwell gets shuffled over there. But yeah, I should have gone over there much earlier than I did, but I didn't. And then I made another mistake that I didn't even know until the end of the game. So I did, when I did West Death Mountain, I just did the Light World spots, and then I didn't go into the Dark World and check those 2 spots there. And I didn't realize that until I came out the front of Turtle Rock, and I was like, oh, I didn't do this. Let's check down here. And, oh, here's the back desert. So
You got Desert. Oh, that's got to feel great.
That actually paid off, yeah.
Well, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. If I would have found it earlier, maybe I wouldn't have checked some of the entrances that I did just looking for desert. But it wasn't a big deal. It didn't cost me much time or anything like that, if any. Maybe it did save me time because I didn't have to walk back up the mountain again. So
yeah, how about that seed requiring the pedestal, the top chest of Ganon's Tower, and the green pendant turn in? That's kind of, I mean, that's a nightmare seed for normal scenarios, and the entrance just kind of makes it even worse.
Once you require the pedestal, requiring the green pendant turn in is almost free.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the fire rod situation. I checked the pedestal really late, and so, the pendant turn-in was like a no-brainer, but if you have that ped knowledge and you're clearing stuff out, definitely goes a little bit smoother.
Excuse me.
Yeah, a lot of the dungeons didn't really have a lot in the seed, like a couple items here and there, but most of the stuff was found in the overworld. That required flute, required the only 2 swords that you could get in logic.
Yeah, we were stacked with items. Early on.
So, yeah, part of what benefited me about getting lost at the beginning was that I didn't know what to do, and I got the book, so I said, well, let's check the pedestal, because I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be going right now. Especially after, I was absolutely shocked when I went to Desert and there was nothing there, but, yeah. Man, I last locationed Hera, and then I got, what did I do?
You did the same thing as Shireen. You went into Hera, you got the hammer from the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went to Mimic Cave. Or rather, you got the boots, you left and did boot spots, and then went back, got the hammer. And then went to Mimic Cave. Because Shireen did the same thing. And then you finally went back and killed Boldor.
It looked like you might have forgotten about the Hera small key for a while there.
Oh, I definitely did. I did. Yeah, that's what I did. I forgot about it for a long time. I forgot about the Hera location in general for a long time, and then for a long time after that, I forgot about the Hera small key. So I checked the pedestal, started rechecking locations, and then I was like, oh yeah, I've got the Hero Small Key. It only took me like 5 times pausing and looking at my keys to be like, that's a thing I can do. Yeah. So I kept on looking like, do I have the Eastern Big Key yet? Because I had the bow and the lamp, and yeah. So, right.
Yeah, this was a real light world. I explored Eastern about 3 minutes in.
I think you're both in there at the same time. Yep.
The worst part about the light world is that it was going well, it was going fast, but because of what I did in Hera, not only did I have to come back there 3 times because I went there weaponless, and then I forgot the hammer kills Moldorm, but of course, I go over to the desert area, I go over to Ice Rod Cave, and then I just gotta re-dip all the glove spots as well. So
yeah,
that was just some unrecoverable time. Like once I saw that the pearl was locked by the glove rocks in Ice Rod Cave, I'm like, could I have my glove my first trip over here? A lot of time lost traversing the entrances early on. The light world was pretty gated, so that was tough.
It was totally gated. I mean, everything was in Hera. Once you found the 2 keys outside of Hera, and the lamp, then everything else was in it.
I think the only thing we could access in the Dark World from all of the available connectors at the start was the Ice Palace entrance, which doesn't even count, really. That's just unbelievable, kind of unheard of for cross keys.
Yeah, I mean, with Paradox locking, like, way up in Dark Death Mountain, locking 3 entrances up there, a lot of and Hyrule Castle entrances were terrible, too.
Yeah, there were no connectors to the Dark World. It was Pearl Glove Hammer for Dark World access. This was like crazy for a cross keys.
Right, and then Mitts and Flute to get to Meyer, and I guess there was a connector to Death Mountain. That's how we got up there, but still.
Yeah, I was worried about that. There were 2 connectors, one of which I was very scared. When I got spit out on Bumper Cave and I mirrored and I saw that was the Old Man Cave, I'm like, I really hope I don't have to end up coming back here, because with Mitts and Hookshot, I'm like, I could do all of this. So I was really worried. But when I found the other connector, which was, I'm trying to remember.
I actually think both of you ended up on.
It was at the Hammer Pegs.
Yes, Hammer Pegs spit you out there. Then I was like, okay, this is a little bit better. And then I got both my swords there, which let me get the flute, which opened like everything.
I want to think you went to the Old Man Cave anyway at one point.
I think you both went through Old Man Cave as your way up to, or rather.
I rushed Old Man Cave. I rushed Old Man Cave before like Pod Area and all the other stuff, because I'm like, there's so much on Death Mountain, and there's a good chance, at this point that this is gonna be my access. And with the way this connector works, I want to try to capitalize on something. And I felt like I got an early flute. I felt like I had early swords. I felt like that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. That was the case. All right, so very nicely done once again to both of you. Anything else you guys would like to say before we wrap things up?
Next time I should do Tyler and Hera a little differently. Not die for reason.
Yeah, I think both of you actually died in Tile Room and Hera.
I think you both died for the same reason, too.
I almost died a second time. When I missed my bomb, I'm like, oh, is this going to happen again? Okay, let me try to dodge the tiles. And, I actually survived. But that was the scariest tile room of my life.
Yeah, those right side tiles are really hard to dodge. But yeah, thanks for restreaming, commentating, tracking, and all of you guys.
Yeah, thanks to all the volunteers and ZSR for putting this on.
All right, so once again, I want to thank both of our runners, Jay Coper and Shireen18, for putting on an excellent show. I want to thank our trackers, Sammy Moss and Tyler, for keeping track of all the wonderful icons you see on the screen. I want to thank my co-commentator, Chloe Prower, for putting up with me.
With each other.
And, of course, to the ZSR team for putting on the restream here. Thank you all so much. And I will just say that I've been Dr. Bobtastic, and it has been a pleasure.
Any last things anybody would like to say before we send everybody off here?
No, that's it for me. Thank you all so much once again. Good night, everybody.
Just a couple things left here to say before I head out. We have next qualifier for this is currently listed, or at least the next one on ZSR will be Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I think there is one between that on Speed Gaming, but I don't actually have the schedule for that in front of me. Also on ZSR, though, we have tomorrow, we have 3 things coming up. We have a Link Between Worlds Any Percent Tournament. That's the semifinals at 2 p.m. Eastern. We have the grand finale game 1 for the ALttPR Season 2. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then the last thing tomorrow is the Wind Waker Randomizer Grand Finale game 4 at 7:45 p.m. Eastern. That's what's really coming up in the next day. Sure, if you're interested, more will be said tomorrow because there's a lot of events on Saturday. So when in doubt, we do have a calendar you can look at. Or schedule if I do the right thing. And then thank you. Have a good night.